So listen for yourself. Here is Frankie Boyer.
And welcome. It is so nice to have you with us on Biz Talk Radio. It is Frankie Boyer, and this is going to be an awesome show today because we have a Nobel Prize winner coming up talking about telomeres, but we're kicking things off with one of New York's powerhouse brokers. Yes, she is Louise Phillips Forbes of Halstead Property, and she's with us today to make her 2017 national real estate predictions. And we're waiting with bated breath, Louise, because you've been in this game for a lot of years. You're one of the elite power brokers and one of the most sought-after real estate media personalities. And so we're listening, and it's nice to have you back.
Thank you. Happy New Year, my friend.
Yes.
To all your listeners.
So I have to just share with you that we in Boston, they're knocking on people's doors asking them, do you want to sell? I mean, that's how bad it is. They are looking for great real estate, great properties. And one of the other issues that's happening in the city is that we are seeing the most incredible growth of apartments right in our North Station district, which was, and I have to say years ago, was quite seedy. Many years ago, was a seedy little iffy neighborhood, has now become another concrete village with these high-rises. They built a 43-story tower literally next to the Boston Garden, TD Bank Garden. And across the street is another one, a glass building, next to the Converse factory. They just built right next to it, literally adjacent to it.
It's happening across the nation, cities within cities, because there is a demand to own. It is the greatest wealth builder, any opportunity that an American can have, and has and will always be a dream, is to own your own home. And so it's really exciting to see these little cities happening within our great cities. And
well,
Boston
yeah, it is.
It is. Out of that.
So these are rentals, though. These are not condos. These are rentals. Now, Seaport, all condos. Seaport is another neighborhood.
It will be a matter of time before those rentals will convert. It may not be in this next run, but it will soon, I would imagine. It depends on, obviously, if it's a real estate REIT, but my experience is that a lot of the things that are if new neighborhoods are being created, they put an anchor of a great rental there, and then the retail comes, the people come, and then it becomes a full-fledged opportunity for people to own in that location.
Yes,
so that's
you're probably right.
We'll keep our eyes on.
Yes, very fascinating, though. It's the development, though, and so anyone that doesn't think building isn't happening, I can just have them look out my balcony window, and I can show them that at night when I go to sleep, the cranes, these huge tall cranes that are on top of these new buildings, the lights are flashing like crazy because we're right next to the airport, so they have to have those lights on them, and they're flashing like crazy in every neighborhood that my eye can see.
They will come.
They'll come. So, so this is happening from coast to coast?
In many, I mean, New York, Manhattan particularly, we have cities within a city. You have places in, downtown Nashville, for example, where there is no area that is not really gentrified and shifted. In fact, they're having to try to work very smartly to preserve pieces of history, like Printer's Alley and, the Grand Ole Opry, but it's not just downtown commercial living, it's become very residential, and that's happening. It's happened in Atlanta, it's happened in Chicago, it's happening in Boston, in Washington, but you'll see it in smaller cities as well. And I think this is all part of, we've had almost many years of historical low interest rates, And, with the increase of interest rates, one of my predictions this year that I'm talking about is going to be a game changer because, especially because 90% of the first-time home buyers are dependent on financing, even though we're still at historically low interest rates of 4% as of Friday to 4.3%, that basis point increase is going to be a motivating factor to get people to take the plunge. Because you can buy more today than you can tomorrow.
Right. Interesting. Okay. I love New York City. Those of us that go to New York a few times a year, several times a year, there's the excitement, there's that energy. It's fabulous. Now, I'm not talking about those of you that live there. Of course, you have all of the wonderful things and amenities 24/7. But for those of us that hop into the city and come in and do a couple of little things and then leave, that energy, I feel it the minute I get over the bridge. I feel that energy. It's like, so to me, it's like, wow. I physically feel it. That's how strong it is for me, for my energetic field. But
I love that.
I love that feeling coming in. So I have to ask you, I've watched neighborhoods develop and grow within the city. Of course, we all saw it happen with the Chelsea Meatpacking District and the West End. And, these neighborhoods have popped up and they've become very elite and very shishi. And is there any neighborhood left that hasn't been developed yet?
They are continuously expanding the borders. One of the things that I really did some research on that I've been watching is something in the Lower East Side in the East Village. There is a little city within a city that's being built. It's called Essex Crossing, and no one ever would have thought that there would be 1.9 million square feet of residential, commercial, and community space built in that location.
Wow.
But it is going to be probably a four-year phased project, and it's going to bring, 1 million square feet of commercial space, and it'll be, it'll have Planet Fitness, it'll have a bowling alley, it'll have movie theater, so it's going to have an entire ability to have a community within itself. And I think that there are definitely niches that developers are finding. This happens to be almost 2 acres.
That's amazing. I'm trying to figure out where it is.
Delancey Street.
Oh,
Delancey
sure, of course.
Essex. Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah.
It used to be the Essex Market, which was all about, the melting pot of all of the immigrants used to do their Saturday shopping there.
That's right. Yes, just like our Haymarket here, which is also going through another major shift and changes and all of that, because it's so interesting, our Haymarket, our open market area, right of that market is where some of this new building is going on, and it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So with all of that, with all of that building, you need markets. You need to support it. Now the Seaport area they finally got a CVS in, but there's no supermarket yet. There's not a lot of retail. Tons of restaurants, and people are looking at these restaurants, and they're just, they're always busy because it's a lot of people to support that want to have a drink, that want to have a bite to eat, that want to meet some friends. It's like having a living room downstairs in your building.
And you will find that those restaurants will be one of those anchors that will create that residential market.
Yes.
Or the market, the Haymarket, will be something that will be an asset where people will enjoy walking to from their home.
Oh, we don't even we need to have you back again because we haven't even talked about what the new. Okay, so we'll schedule you for a couple of weeks, and we'll really get into the nuts and the bolts of what's going to happen.
We'll get into the nuts and bolts. Well, what I will say is that this interest rate increase, I'm expecting to watch that buyers across the nation will act quickly in ensuring to enclose themselves and lock in with a reasonable long-term rate. And
okay.
I will
we got to run
to talk to you about that.
Oh, awesome. What's the best website as we say goodbye to you?
LouisePhillipsForbes.com.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure. Stay tuned. This is Frankie Boyer, Biz Talk Radio.